Super Smash Bros. Is huge. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's only the biggest crossover in the realm of video games, and what happens when a thing's popular? Why, imitators arise. Now, when I say imitators, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean more so that Smash Bros. Introduced a new type of fighting game, the platform fighter. And now other companies want their own, most notably Sony with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. But crossing over video games isn't the only type of platform fighter. No, they'll cross over cartoon characters too. It makes sense. Cartoon characters are usually just as iconic as video game characters, if not more. So throwing some recognizable ones in your roster won't make it stand out. I remember a couple growing up, like Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, but in recent years, it's been picking up more steam, with games like Nick All-Stars Brawl and the upcoming Warner Bros. Multiverses. This got me thinking, what would a Disney platform fighting game roster look like? I'm kinda surprised they haven't done this already. They only own most of the galaxy, literally, and are no stranger to crossing over their iconic characters like with Kingdom Hearts or Disney Infinity. Heck, they do it in their TV shows. I want to analyze the heck out of the Lilo and Stitch cinematic universe, and hey, they probably will at some point. But instead of waiting, I gathered some friends together not too long ago, and we made our own mock-up roster. And here it is. If you want to see a close-up, I'll link my tweet of it in the description. Now, before you start yelling at me in the comments asking where character I forgot about X is, I did set some ground rules here. Since we wanted to start off simple, we decided to leave out stuff like Marvel and Star Wars, since honestly, their worlds are so big and expansive, they could probably get their own fighting games, and some of them have already. And we also wanted to have room for a hypothetical Disney Fighters Pass. We also decided to leave out Sora for this one, since at the time we made this, he just got announced for Smash, so we were all, he's got them now. Feel free to give some suggestions for a hypothetical DLC in the comments though. Deciding who to put in was a long process that required a lot of painful cuts. We had obvious choice here. Wreck-It Ralph and Stitch, for example, felt perfect for these types of games. And of course we wanted to represent as many of the princesses as we could, but we also had to decide what branches of Disney we wanted to represent. The main animated canon was an obvious yes, and Pixar is so big, they just had to go in. We even threw in some picks from lesser talked about Disney stuff, like Long John Silver from Treasure Planet, or Yensid from Fantasia. We also wanted to spice it up by including characters from their animated TV shows. We tried to pick from a variety of classic and newer stuff. We did overindulge a bit on Darkwing Ducks, so there's your equivalent to Fire Emblem reps, I guess. No teen sitcoms though. Sorry, Corey. Not to say there isn't any live action stuff on here though. We did throw in Mary Poppins because that felt like such a meme pick, and Captain Jack Sparrow because it just felt right. I'm not gonna go over how I picture everyone's movesets or their alts, because we'd be here all day. I do want to cover some of the highlights of ideas we had. Doc over there works like Bowser Jr., in that you could choose between alts of the 7 dwarves. Mickey's sort of like Mario, in that he's the most well-rounded, beginner-friendly character to play as, and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is like his Dr. Mario. Characters like Beast, Maui, or Kronk are heavyweights who do a lot of damage, while Perry the Platypus is more speedy and does a lot of quicker, smaller hits. Tigger would be a fast, strong attacker with low defense. We chose him over Pooh because, do you really want to beat this big lad up? As for stages, the sky was the limit. I know one of my first ideas was Doofenshmirtz Incorporated, with a wacky remix of that theme playing in the stage. The stage hazard would be Doofenshmirtz's many-inators blowing up sections of the stage as he rages at Perry in the background. Andy's room would be a fun stage. It could change backgrounds to many of Andy's different imagination segments, like the opening of Toy Story 3. Better yet, think of a Wreck-It Ralph stage. It'd sadly probably be very similar to one of the worst Smash Bros. Stages, but it'd still have a cool retro game style to resemble his game in the movie. I did also have the idea of having the set piece a song took place in as a stage. Tamatoa's Lair from Moana, for example, has a lot of potential for stage hazards in music, and that's only scratching the surface. Could you imagine, say, a Monsters Inc. stage with the many doors, or a Weird Mageddon stage for Gravity Falls, or heck, a Steamboat Willie stage if you want to go super old school. The other big potential here is the potential items we could use. Threw around a lot of ideas, but the best idea came from one of my friends, who suggested it could have their own version of Pokeballs in the form of the Lilo and Stitch experiment pods. For those unaware, in the Lilo and Stitch TV show, there were these pods containing the many different alien experiments that activated when touching water. The show was already very Pokemon-esque anyway, so you might as well go the full mile. As for music, well, that's obvious. Throw in some slapping remixes of the many different Disney songs. You get the many music pieces from Fantasia, the instrumental themes of some of the most iconic Disney songs, and even remixes of a few of the theme songs of TV shows. Now, we made this mock-up roster mostly for shits and giggles, but also with the idea that a concept like this would get DLC and sequels. So in this scenario, third-party characters like from Marvel and Star Wars would eventually come, along with any character we may have forgotten about. Seriously, how the frick did we forget about Jake Long? So if you have any suggestions for characters, stages, items, or just fun ideas for this, feel free to leave a comment. We're not actually making this a full game or anything. I'm not a game developer, nor am I willing to deal with the copyright hell that would bring. It's just a fun what-if scenario. But with how all these other Smash Bros-like games are getting announced, I'm fully expecting Disney to hop on the bandwagon within the next few years. Thanks for watching, everybody. Feel free to leave a like or comment or subscribe if you want. Have a nice day.